Before we get started, remember to select the subscribe and notification bell to receive live updates on more great content. Do you know what it's like to be on the back of a motorbike for the first time? Well, if you don't, then imagine this. It's like riding on air, except the concrete is only a couple feet below you, and you can fall down at any moment. Oh, by the way, I was only wearing a flimsy helmet. Yeah, if I fell off, I was going to die. How did I get here? Oh right, Tinder. I hadn't ever tried online dating. Well, with studying and all, I was going to be a lawyer, so it was just so much homework. One paper after another. Then there was extracurriculars like debate team, studying, and heavens, lots of other things. Who had the time for dating? I always thought dating was something people did at bars or clubs over lots of drinks. One of my friends told me about online dating. I'd always known about it, but why would I? My friends pitched it as efficient. Efficient. Swipe to the left, swipe to the right. At first I didn't think much of this, but after, I started thinking it was like law school. We were always having to think on our feet in class. Swipe left, swipe right. Split-second decisions. Think hard. Make a decision. Elementary school teacher, loves kids, reads all the time, works out. Nice photo with a smile. Swipe right. A message popped up. It's a match. When we started messaging, it turned out we had a lot in common. We were both into sci-fi movies. He was also very amenable to my busy schedule, and fitting in a short coffee date at a time I was free. Everything about meeting him sounded like it would be safe and efficient. I fit this date in between my class on tort law and my evening homework session. He told me he was going to pick me up. Now, in all fairness, I should have clarified. Was he going to pick me up in a car, a truck, or a bus, or a Zamboni? Or a motorcycle? He drove up to the sidewalk, his motorcycle rumbling to a stop. His helmet was a giant 8-ball, black with the number 8 painted on the back. He didn't even lift the visor up. He just passed me a giant white helmet. "Get on," he said. I wanted to formally introduce myself, but I didn't feel confident enough to ask. Was it rude to ask someone their name on an online date? Like, was I supposed to go in knowing it? Sure, it was written down, but I didn't actually know how to pronounce it, did I? In my head, I just called him 8-ball. After fumbling with the helmet strap, I had the bright white helmet securely on my head. 8-ball took my hand and helped me mount the motorcycle. With the way the motorcycle was shaped, I almost fell forward, right onto his back. We were so close. What was I supposed to do with my hands? Was I supposed to put them around his waist, his shoulders? Did people actually do that when they were on motorcycles? Or was that just something in the movies? Again, 8-ball took my hand, put them right around his waist. I swear, he was so strong. Without warning, the motorcycle started up and we were off. The trip started off slowly at first, then it got faster. It eventually got fast enough that I started to get scared. Even though my arms were around him tightly, I still felt like we were going to fall down at any moment. It especially felt deadly when we were doing a turn. "How much further is it?" I yelled into his ear. No reply. Or maybe there was, and I couldn't hear it over the rumbling of the motorcycle engine. Without warning, police sirens started up behind us. I turned my head, and I saw 3 police cruisers tailing us. Who were they flashing their lights at? Was it the cars or us? I didn't know much about the rules of the road, but I figured motorcycles were supposed to pull over too, not go faster. If I thought we were going way too fast before, we were going 5 times faster now. We were going so fast, we were practically sideways for all the turns. I could barely look at the other cars because we were so close to the other vehicles. I swear, I was inches away from any vehicle or person we passed. So fast. It was like the world around us was on fast forward. It took a few moments for me to realize that the police were chasing us. I worked up the courage to turn around, where I saw another 3 cars had joined the chase. Just as we turned another corner, I felt us turning sideways. When you're riding a motorcycle, there's always that split second when you realize the balance isn't just compromised, it's lost, and you're going to fall. I remember the moment I realized we were going to hit the concrete. The last thing I saw was the 8 on the back of 8-Ball's head. The last thing I heard were his screams. And the last thing I felt was the skin on my shoulder and back peeling off into the road. Even though my head was protected by the white helmet, I felt the pressure as my head hit the curb. I was groggy. I could barely see. It was like being in a dream. I couldn't feel anything below my neck. I heard the police cruiser stop behind me. I heard one of the officers say, "We found the 8-Ball killer." It wasn't until I woke up in the hospital bed that I learned that the 8-Ball killer, my date, had a thing about picking up lonely young women on his bike, and well, online dating might be efficient, but I wasn't going to do it ever again. Not after being picked up by 8-Ball.